Once upon a time, in the heart of the jungle, lived a young lion named Leo. Leo was a kind and gentle soul who always put the needs of others before his own. He led his pride with a heavy heart, always worrying about their well-being and safety. But Leo had a secret weapon, a powerful roar that could shake the very foundations of the jungle. His roar was not just a sound, it was a symbol of strength, courage, and justice. It echoed through the trees, sending a shiver down the spine of any who heard it. One day, however, disaster struck. As Leo woke up from his slumber, he noticed something was terribly wrong. His throat felt dry and scratchy, and when he tried to let out a mighty roar, all that came out was a feeble squeak. "Oh no," he thought in horror. "I have lost my roar. Without my roar, I am just a weak and helpless lion." Determined to get his roar back, Leo decided to seek help from the wisest and oldest creature in the jungle, the wise old monkey. He swung from tree to tree, his tail whipping through the air until he reached Leo's pride. "Wise monkey, I have come to you for help," Leo said, his voice barely a whisper. "I have lost my roar, and without it, I am afraid I cannot protect my pride." The wise old monkey looked at Leo with his beady eyes and said, "Ah, young Leo, your roar is gone. I am afraid there is only one way to get it back. You must drink the nectar of the whispering flower, a rare and elusive plant that grows deep in the uncharted territories of the jungle." Leo's heart sank. The uncharted territories were dangerous, and he would be venturing into unknown and treacherous lands, all for a slim chance of getting his roar back. But what choice did he have? He had to do it. With a heavy heart, Leo bid farewell to his pride and set off on his journey. As he ventured deeper into the jungle, Leo realized just how vast and mysterious it was. Tall trees formed a thick canopy overhead, blocking out the sunlight and plunging the forest floor into perpetual darkness. Strange calls and rustlings echoed through the undergrowth, making him jump at every unexpected sound. Despite the danger, Leo pressed on, driven by his determination to get his roar back. After days of searching, Leo finally spotted a patch of land, bathed in a soft, ethereal light, and there in the center of it all stood the whispering flower, its petals unfurling like 1,000 tiny trumpets. But as he approached, he noticed that the flower was guarded by a colony of angry red ants. They marched in perfect formation, their tiny jaws working in unison, as they carried crumbs and leaves back to their nest. Realizing that he couldn't fight them head-on, Leo decided to use his wits to get past them. He took a deep breath and let out a loud whistle. The ants immediately stopped their march and turned their heads toward the sound. In that split second, Leo dashed forward, grabbed a petal from the whispering flower, and ran as fast as he could. The ants quickly realized what he was doing and charged after him, their angry screeches echoing through the trees. Leo didn't dare look back. He could hear the ants gaining on him, their footsteps pounding the ground like tiny hammers. Just when he thought he might be caught, he spotted a tall tree with thick, leafy branches overhead. With a burst of speed, he leaped and landed on the tree, pulling himself up to safety. The ants, unable to climb the rough bark, could only watch helplessly as Leo scrambled up higher and higher. Panting heavily, Leo pulled the petal from its stem and brought it to his nose. Its sweet, spicy scent filled his nostrils, and he knew he had found the right flower. Closing his eyes, he took a deep breath and swallowed the nectar in one gulp. Immediately, he could feel the power surging through his veins, bringing with it a strange and invigorating heat. With renewed strength and confidence, Leo faced the ants head-on. He roared, "Leave me be, you pesky insects, or I will crush you all beneath my paws." The ants, taken aback by Leo's sudden transformation, hesitated for a moment. In that split second, Leo pounced. He batted them away with his paws. sending them flying through the air. Defeated and demoralized, the ants retreated back to their nest, leaving Leo victorious. As the last ant disappeared from sight, Leo let out another mighty roar. This time it was longer and louder than before. His voice echoed through the trees, carrying with it the power and authority that had been missing for so long. Overjoyed, Leo raced back to his pride, eager to share the good news with them. But as he approached his territory, he heard voices that made his blood boil. A group of hyenas was taunting and harassing his pride, stealing their food and chasing away their prey. Enraged, Leo let out a furious roar and charged toward the hyenas. His claws extended and his teeth bared. The hyenas, taken aback by the return of their old foe, scattered and fled. With the hyenas driven away, Leo's pride cheered and gathered around him. They had missed his roar, not just because it was a symbol of their strength, but because it was a source of comfort and reassurance. Leo, however, wasn't interested in reveling in his victory. Instead, he noticed something strange. His pride was full of cuts and scratches, and many of them were limping or whimpering in pain. "How did this happen?" he asked, his voice filled with concern. His pride members looked at each other, ashamed. They had been too scared to tell him. The truth was, without Leo's protection and strength, they had been struggling to survive. The hyenas had attacked them several times, injuring many of the pride members. Touched by their plight, Leo felt a surge of determination. He might have lost his roar once, but he would never let it go again. From that day on, Leo became an even more dedicated and fierce leader. He trained his pride relentlessly, teaching them how to hunt, fight, and defend themselves. He also spent more time with them, playing and joking around to keep their spirits high. One evening, as the sun was setting over the horizon, casting long shadows across the jungle, Leo called his pride together. "I have a confession to make," he said, his voice grave. "I have lost my roar twice now, and I fear it may happen again. But I promise you this: I will never give up. I will do everything in my power to protect you and our home." As Leo spoke, the pride stared back at him, their eyes shining with admiration and respect. They knew that their leader was not just strong and brave, but also humble and determined. Suddenly, a loud cheer erupted from the assembled lions. They had seen how Leo had led them through tough times and inspired them to be better versions of themselves. They didn't need a roaring lion to lead them. They needed a kind and inspiring one, which Leo was in abundance. From then on, Leo was known throughout the jungle, not just as the lion who had lost his roar, but as the lion who had found his purpose. The story of Leo reminds us that true leadership is not defined by strength or power, but by courage, kindness, and determination. No matter what challenges we face, we should never give up hope, and we should always strive to be the best version of ourselves. Because in the end, it is not the roar that matters, but the leader behind it. If you like this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. And if you want to hear more stories about courageous and inspiring animals, click on this video on the screen.